the name of Holly. Look at that twice. I said, Holly Berry, you finna do what? No, not Holly. It's Holly Bailey. Now, so apparently this white lady, and tell me if I'm saying her name right. Tammy Lauren.
Tammy
Lauren. Yeah, see. So thank you.
Right.
I tell you, I'm totally unfamiliar with her in terms of what white people. Well, no, I'm really not up on my white people. I'm guilty as charged. You're just right.
But threw you allowed.
You got the white game up.
No. I shan't do it. I won't. You know what I'm saying?
Tammy Lauren surprised me with something she said.
But no, but so her thing is because I'm trying to grasp the understanding of some white people. Because one thing I used to say is white people is not dumb. You can call them a lot of things, but they're not dumb. But however, when I read stuff like this, is apparently a section of white people that are really dumb. So she said it's a matter of bowing down to angry left-wing mob, the angry left-wing mob of tolerance and representation.
Okay.
So apparently there's some angry mob that wants tolerance and representation. Is this the narrative that they put out there to make themselves, you know? She said changing the skin tone of established characters is like spitting in all of our beautiful white faces.
Right. It's one of those things though, but what else would Tammy Lauren say?
But are you that ignorant? Like they play Egyptians, right? Well, okay.
I mean, I'm saying that.
No, help me. I'm understanding that.
I'm saying that because you know, are you familiar with any of her history?
I've seen a couple times where she came out and said some other dumb shit, and then she got fired from Fox News or something like that.
That's what it is.
Yes,
I didn't want to. I didn't even know who the hell it was.
Charlamagne's
I know who she is now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he was riding with her.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
I didn't know that.
So no, I wasn't trying to cut you off.
Don't.
My point is, it's one of those situations where should I be shocked because Tammy Lauren said something asinine? I shouldn't. As a black man, I should be like, what the fuck was she gonna say? Right. That's all she could have said, right? Mm-hmm. But the whole point of that, and I hope you made your point, bro. Mm-hmm. The whole point of
he said, hope you got it in.
I'm saying I'm over there working on wires and shit. You know what I'm saying? What up, YouTube? I'm back. But no. I mean, the whole idea of you're upset because a fictional character in a fictional movie.
Fictional. Yeah.
It's something that first of all, it's a mermaid. Second of all, it's a cartoon type shit, Disney type fantasy type shit. You're concerned because somebody got black skin.
But they made this shit factual. Like if anybody's ever studied the history of mermaids, you understand. Right.
What a fucking idiot you are.
Right.
Well, P.T. Burnham had a mermaid in the early 20th century.
Right. They ended up tying it in with Jesus. And we know that he was with the creator and then they merged with fish. So we know he's white. Why do we know he's white? Because his son is white. Jesus is white. So that
and I'm going from white bass.
And I'm going whiting fish.
Right. Fish sticks and shit. Like I'm saying. Black Challenge, man, on the Saturday night. Shout out to my boys, man, the Outlaws, for holding me down.
Hey,
I'm trying to get these cameras and stuff right.
How would a mermaid be made?
How would she be right? It had to be a fish and a human.
Swimming upstream.
So somebody out here is fucking fish.
Again,
jack off in the water.
Listen, so if you put it that way, it would be white then, right? Because we're not
right.
We're not doing that.
The opinions expressed on Outlaw Radio are solely those of the motherfucker that said it. Know who to be mad at, right? Yeah. So on the Saturday night, right? What they said, I'm still trying to think of a name. Because I'm Kamar.
I gotta get in there somewhere. So at the end, I'll just say, yeah.
Hey, right. You gotta say it like dude. You gotta say it like dude in Trading Places.
Yeah.
You gotta say it like Karate Man.
Do that shit.
But no, man, it's about the Freedom Challenge, and the reason why I decided to go in this direction thematically in terms of kind of making the subtopic of the show, because it's always Outlaw Radio, which is current events and politics and all that kind of good, groovy black stuff. But then sometimes there's a theme, and sometimes there's something we should look at that pop culture is trying to sell us on.
Okay.
And I wholeheartedly believe that right now one of those things are these challenges, the social media challenges. Look, don't get me wrong. I know a distraction is a distraction is a distraction, but if it's a norm, if it's cultural and it's behavioral, it can affect us. And if you put some positivity into it, you can make it something that's real. Right. So I say, let's do a freedom challenge.
Okay.
Let's do the hashtag Black Freedom Challenge. You just paid off your child support. Put that up and put Freedom Challenge. You just got your first home.
Right.
Put that up. Put hashtag Freedom Challenge. Your little baby girl just got a 4.0 or just got, an honor roll.
That's what's up.
Freedom Challenge.
Right.
These are the things that we have to do as people of color for us to be free or at least move towards this freedom that we say we want. We're going to talk about freedom tonight.
All right.
Talk about freedom tonight.
Right.
But first, Brother John gonna pass that plate. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I had y'all going for a minute.
This is why I get up and lead the room, right?
No, Brother Jason. I tell the mother at the back, Mother Daniels, get him.
All right.
But no, so y'all let us know what y'all think freedom is, and that's how I'm gonna start the show off.
All right.
Actually, just kind of throwing the spark on the fire with the conversation about what you actually think freedom is. So I'll go immediately to my right, to my partner, Brother Talk. Like, what is freedom to you? And at the end of your definition of freedom, are you free?
So first, I'll answer the second part of the question first and say, am I free? No.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm not totally free is that we have more rights than we used to have. But the fact of the matter is there are still things that you can't do. You can't collect too much rainwater.
Okay.
Right? There's a certain amount of rainwater if you are self-sustaining that you literally can go to jail for. You can't
legally. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Legally and literally and both. Yes, you legally can go to jail for it. Yeah,
right,
yes.
I know.
So, different things like that. I'm not free to educate my child the way I want to without teaching him the curriculum of the education system. I'm not free, to not use my social security number, when I should be. I'm not free, to not pay a tax that I shouldn't be paying for a Miller Park Stadium, that we should have stopped paying for. I never went to visit anyway. So these sorts of things, like when you start digging and asking certain questions, a lot of times we were let out of a smaller cage into a bigger cage, and so we thought we was free because we could do some of the things that we couldn't do before. But am I free in totality? Personally, my opinion, I'd have to say no.
Okay. And what would be your definition of freedom?
My definition of freedom would be to do some of those very things that I mentioned at my own discretion, especially when you're talking about my land. If I buy land and I buy a house, and we all know the story. If you hit oil, it's not you just own the land. That sort of thing. If I could educate my child the way I wanted to, if I could come off the grid the way I wanted to, those sorts of things, that indicates freedom to me.
Brother Bull, what say you?
What's freedom to me?
What's freedom
or
to
my
you?
Definition of freedom.
Your definition of it. However you want to lay it.
The way I would lay it is to be able to live without a clock.
Okay.
To be able to live without a clock.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then another, I want to say also, freedom to me is perspective. It's one's perspective. Your perspective of freedom will always be different than mine. You know what I mean? It'll always be different than his. Because let me go into me. Because see, I'm finna walk around the block with this. So let me get back to me.
Y'all go get y'all soda or something.
You know what I'm saying? Get the popcorn ready. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
But with me, am I free? Like he said, I would say not in totality. I want to say mentally, I'm free. Mentally, I'm not bondaged. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel I'm not held back mentally. I can think, I can dream whatever I want, and I can go after whatever it is I think and dream.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? I can do that. I don't feel like earlier today, me and Kevin was talking, we talked about the word oppressor. I don't like that word because, you know what I mean? To say somebody's an oppressor, you're admitting that you're oppressed. You dig what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I want to say mentally, I'm free. You know what I mean? Spiritually, I understand how the Creator granted me with a free will. I got the will to choose, the will to do anything I want to do.
Right.
The will to think anything I want to think. I could think positive or I could think negative. You know what I mean?
Right. Sir. You bring your own energy.
Exactly. I'm not in a box. I'm not contained by no rules on that note. You know what I mean? Spiritually. So I feel like I'm spiritually free.
Okay.
Now, financially free is a totally different story. You know what I mean? But let me tell you this, I'm working at it. You know what I mean? This is something I'm working at. This is something that I'm passionate about. I want to see myself be able to walk off with that plantation on my own wheel. You dig what I'm saying? And not have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So financially, I'm not free. So to me, freedom, it comes in different aspects. You know what I'm saying? Because see, they got us chained in so many different ways. Right. You know what I mean? We chained by the food. Them chains is pretty much about broke with me too. Okay. You know what I mean? Right. Well, not pretty much all of it. You know, you did what I'm saying? No, but that's freedom. That's freedom for me, man. But you know, I'm going on this subject.
No, and we got plenty of time. You're gonna get a chance to go. You ain't gotta say your whole rap on this verse. Right, okay. Like, you'll get another verse on the song. In terms of what freedom is, I just always look at freedom as the amount of equal opportunity that's available. You know, with me, you can gauge how free I am based on whether or not I have access to opportunities that can improve my quality of life. So I said that to say, if I undergo certain coursework, if I go and achieve certain achievements in business or whatever I'm doing, I want to be put on an even playing field with all of the rest of the players. And the problem is right now, since the financial control is so strong that a lot of the opportunities are just not there. That's where I start saying you're compromising my freedom. Now, do I believe, because I believe freedom, in case you weren't clear, I believe it's about equal opportunity. As long as I got access to that, I'm free. You know, but when you start restricting, and so I guess I'm free sometimes and sometimes I ain't.
So sometimes you have equal opportunity?
Right. Sometimes you the bug, sometimes you the windshield. Sometimes you smash, sometimes you get smashed.
When do you have equal opportunity?
Well, it's okay. So if I go into a situation where I have a money-making opportunity, and I can go in there and I know that if I do what I'm supposed to do, the money will come. Now, we can go off into the compromise of what you got to do to get the money and all that. I ain't dancing at the Cheetah Club, right? I stopped doing that.
You don't do that no more.
I stopped doing that.
Alone
stop doing that.
Right? Brothers deserve a second chance. Right.
Them pictures got out. That wasn't me. That was fraudulent. That was Photoshop. But no, so I'm saying there's been certain times in my life where I've had opportunities that I like to say it like this: the nigga in me didn't let me take advantage of. Like I've been around in some places where networking wise and improving my stock financially, had I have been a different kind of Negro, I would have been able to do it. But like the nigga in me was just like, nah, son. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang type shit. Like that. Right. You know, right.
Kev, you know me. You know I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit, right?
Well, hold on. So I'm saying, and once again, that's why I ask the people, are you free? People who are listening to the show on YouTube and Facebook, are you free? And if not, what is your definition of freedom? We've all given one. So it's three different interpretations.
Absolutely.
What's your definition?
And that was my definition, but like I said, I think I answered it. I think sometimes I'm free and sometimes I'm limited. And usually I got way more to do with the situation that I'm in than people. Like a lot of people won't really admit you got way more to do with the situation you're in than you telling people. It sounds good when you say
everything to do with it.
When you say what happened at work, you be like, all I did was, okay, I had a bag of Cheetos. Now, if you go ask the boss, he's like, he slapped me in the face with a bag of Cheetos, fucking Cheeto prints all over the microwave. You don't tell that part because, you know, it's your story. Yeah. You ain't got to tell that.
You know, and so, I think you got everything to do with it.
Yeah. So that's, I guess mine is kind of weird. So,
right. No, I don't think it's weird. I think it's right on. But I did two words that you said kind of caught me. And what you said was, in addition to having opportunity, you said equal opportunity, right? And so when you say equal opportunity, right, then you cited the fact that we make errors and we make mistakes. And this is absolutely true. A lot of the shit that we go through is totally, we self-deed in some areas.
Yeah, a lot.
But equal opportunity means that we would have just as much opportunities to screw up as they do to screw up and still have the outcome that they have. Now, so let's not judge ourselves on whether or not we screw up. When we say equal opportunity, do we have equal opportunity to screw screw up like they screw up? And the answer is no. So you at that point, in my eyes, in my mind, in my understanding, you never ever were free because you never had equal opportunity, whether you screwed up or whether you was perfect.
And you know what? I got two answers to that. Number one, sooner or later, it don't matter what color you are, what race you're in, you're gonna have to pay the piper. So if you a fuck off and you're doing fucked up shit, eventually you'll pay that price. But I guess my other point is I only have so much time, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't have I don't want to stress myself out over worrying and over analyzing every issue.
Yes, sir.
So when I go into a situation, I look at it like this: it's all on you. Do the right thing. I'm not going to, and I already know. Me and Billy ain't on the same stage. I know Billy can get away with shit that Kev can't. I go in there knowing that, but I try to equip myself with weapons to fight that, right? Like I try to go in there and make sure Billy ain't gonna get me on this. It'll come down to the point where it's nothing else except for the fact that it's just got to be that he's black. Look, this motherfucker's a perfect employee. Billy, what are you thinking?
We've done, yes,
well,
yes.
It's just one day I thought he smelled marijuana. Oh, we gotta let him go, right? That's why we gotta legalize. But no, the freedom challenge, right?
No, I concur. Yes,
right.
The freedom challenge.
The freedom challenge.
Yes, sir.
And I'm thinking about how do we represent this freedom challenge? What does that mean, though? Right?
Right.
The freedom challenge. So if I'm gonna go on Instagram, like I said, I'm gonna have a little shorty when he do something good. Freedom challenge. When I got my woman and I got my family and we sitting down eating, having a peaceful day or a peaceful night. Hashtag freedom challenge. Because we need to be building our family.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be straightening up our credit.
Right.
And we need to be becoming more informed and more involved in our children's education. Yeah. So if you're doing something on any of those levels,
start doing credit challenges.
Yeah, man. Freedom challenge. See?
Challenge.
Right.
1 year credit challenge. See
how
far you get in a year.
Right. I mean, if you finally got that credit card paid off, y'all hashtag freedom challenge. Yeah, block out your name and your address and just show the part where it say account paid.
Yeah, right.
Instead of fucking licking ice cream and shit and
dumping ice buckets of water on your head,
sucking cucumbers.
Oh man, that's crazy.
What's the deal with
that's another. Here we go. We from the sidebar to show.
I know, and Jay's good at that. And I almost said, wait, let's talk about freedom challenge first. Then I'm like, no, he's gonna get mad. So fuck it. Talk about the cucumber challenge.
I'm not getting mad. I don't know shit about the cucumber challenge.
You said it.
No, I've seen it. I mean, it's ridiculous. I have daughters. You know what I'm saying? Like, have some integrity.
You grounded us with vegetables, and these girls down here treating them like dick.
But you support a vegetarian diet.
I know.
Yeah, it's a plant-based diet.
They don't swallow.
I'm jealous of the cucumber. Shit. I'm jealous of a cucumber.
It's like fishing and you throw the fish back. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you,
I'm jealous of the cucumber.
And I would ask the sisters, and this way,
damn cucumber.
Shout out to
I seen plenty of sisters snapping about that.
Shout out to like Coop and like Reedy and all the ladies we've had on the show. And this is why I always try to keep a female kind of like influence
vibe.
Because I like to know,
estrogen.
Is this phallic? Like, what is this about? Like, are y'all saying?
Of course it's phallic.
Well, I know. That was a rhetorical question. What do you mean? Of course. Have you seen a cucumber?
By definition.
Right. I'm saying for them, though, like, what is it? Like people say, it's just a challenge. You should get all up.
I'm not.
No, they tell me that.
You ain't upset about it either.
No, I'm just saying, like, no, I ain't upset about, the cucumber challenge.
He was like, rewind that.
That is a truly a plant-based diet.
You look stupid doing it.
You do. And
you look stupid.
Right.
Stop it.
Yeah, goodbye, sis. Goodbye. Or goodbye, sis.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, sir.
Right. So tell me, what would you like to see? Say we established this and we launched this initiative for the Black Freedom Challenge, the Freedom Challenge. What would be like the first thing you did to show I ain't necessarily free, but I'm working on it. I'm free-ish. I got a toolbox and I got tools in it, so I'm gonna start promoting the message. So what would be the first? I'm talking to you, bro.
Oh, okay.
It's easy.
Hey, I was gonna answer.
I'm not used to that. Like, right?
We gotta go this way. Right? We gotta go this way.
Let me tell you, for me, go ahead. It's easy.
Yeah.
When my kids come home and they talk to me about something they learned in school, and I have the opportunity to deprogram them and let them know, listen. And then I've told them, this is what you need to know to get the answers right on the test.
Okay.
This is the truth. This is what really happened.
Okay.
This is what they're really trying to do. But on the other end of that, I need for you to memorize what they want you to memorize so that you can get a good grade.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you put under that hashtag Freedom Challenge.
Deprogramming my children from the
It's a
curriculum.
step towards liberation.
Hey,
Right. Emancipation.
hello, somebody.
And he gonna pass the tray. We got to get our donation button up. But Bull, what's your first one?
What resonated with me is that credit challenge we just talked about.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Damn near all of our community, our credit is fucked up.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Got an issue with
And a lot of the time it's a generational curse because we used to put the electric bills in the kids' names and all that type shit. Now the kids' credit already fucked up.
Before they got
fucked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would hashtag the credit challenge.
Okay. Yeah. If you got a college degree, take a picture with your degree and say hashtag, Freedom Challenge. Like if we're gonna challenge ourselves to do anything, we need to challenge ourselves to get free. And that is a whole bunch of different pursuits. So don't think you can like watch one YouTube video and wake up tomorrow righteous. It's a process.
Yeah, it's a process.
And go ahead, brother.
But the one thing about having brother Bull with us is that it's very holistic. And I want to talk about Nature's Nature herbs and supplements. People actually ask me how to get them. I want to give you the phone number so you can write this down. Just a quick intervention into the show. The number to get the detox, the herbal detox with the sarsaparilla and the blue vervain.
Yeah.
Blue vervain.
Yeah, let me do it.
I said,
let me do it.
He said, let me do it.
Yeah, let me do
You
it.
messing it up. You ain't seeing it right.
All right, y'all. We got Nature's Nature herbs and supplements.
Yes.
You can find this page on Facebook. Nature's Nature, NETER, herbs and supplements. I'll tell you about the herbs right quick. Give you a quick rundown on them. Blue vervain, it's gonna clear out your respiratory system and push the mucus out. We got burdock root. Burdock root is a blood purifier. It's antiviral, antibacterial. It's anti-inflammatory. It's anti-cancer. It protects your liver. It's good for gout. We got dandelion root. Dandelion root is going to clean your urinary tract. It's also good for gout. It's good for liver.
Yeah.
Then we got sarsaparilla in here. Sarsaparilla is another blood purifier.
Yes.
It cleanses out your reproductive area. It's high in iron. That and along with burdock root, they have the two highest iron contents of the plant kingdom.
That's what's
so
up.
If you have issues like anemic, you got anemia or whatever, those are two good herbs to check out. So then I got chaparral. The chaparral kills the parasites that's living in your intestines.
Boom.
It also stimulates digestion. And it also pushes mucus out.
Okay.
And then we have the dandelion root. The dandelion root is good for your liver. It's good for your pancreas. It's good for your blood. So yeah, I got it. The whole detox itself is focused on pushing mucus out, purifying your blood, and cleansing your liver.
Now, how can they get it? How can they get it? Because that's where I was going when you took the jar from me.
Okay, the phone number. Okay, you know how to do the quick commercial. The phone number. But the phone number is 414-949-2122. 414-949-2122. If you're in Milwaukee, I'll deliver it to you, or you can come pick it up from me. If you're not in Milwaukee, go to letsreachone.com. Letsreachone.com.
All right.
And you can order it there, and I'll ship it out to you. I'll have it real quick.
That's what's
I'm
up.
lightning fast. I'm faster than Jimmy Johns with these.
He quit now. He got verbiage now.
Hey, he that's what's up.
On your ass.
But before we get too far away from the subject, I want to just give a shout out to Dre Day. Brother Dre said you only feel free when you realize your bondage or lack thereof. That's why freedom is different for everyone. Some have different outlooks on what's holding them back, right? And so I agree with that, man.
Shout out to Dre Day, because I was just about to go there. You're looking out.
It's okay.
Shout out to my brother Jaquette Forte. I see the big homie watching, man. It is Outlaw Radio on a Saturday night. Hope y'all getting faded, getting ready to go somewhere, have a good time.
That's right.
Shake your booty, spin your check, do what it is that you do. Strap it up, put your seatbelt on, right?
I don't miss that shit, man. I'm telling you. Going out, spending my check, wake up in the morning, I'll be scared to go in my pocket. Man. I'm scared to count my money.
You don't want to see that receipt.
I don't miss that shit.
So we talking about the Freedom Challenge tonight. We're talking about, instead of getting involved in all kinds of crazy, stupid pointless social media challenges, right?
That we ain't getting nothing from.
Like stupid shit.
Let's add that into it.
And even with
these
our
challenges
kids
that we ain't get, that ain't benefiting us none.
And even with our kids that are teenagers that are growing up, like right now, we can enforce on them and say, hey, you want a challenge? I'll give you a challenge. What about a freedom challenge? What
in your room.
But that sets up that discussion. Well, what you mean free, Dad?
Right.
Come on in here, boy, sit down, let me talk to you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So sometimes as a parent, you have to initiate conversations and dialogue with your children. It's just part of what we do. That right there was a freedom challenge moment.
Hey.
We got an election.
Hey.
We got an election coming up in 2020. Get this man's herbs, because he got something else I want to talk about too. Make sure we get this in. Let me get the other bottle.
Hey, wait,
right.
One more thing before we leave this, man. So what do you make tea? Yep. You know what I'm saying? You make the tea.
You make tea.
So you figure, like, you know what I'm saying? I got one of the presses, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like with a spoonful.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah, and I said, because we actually showed this on the Warrior Report, which is on Wednesday nights. And I was talking to the brother about making the tea, and I'm like, well, I got to make mine sweet. I said, put some sugar. He said, no, brother, don't do sugar. He said he sweetens his with a guava.
Guava nectar.
Let me say that. Let me say. Kevin always makes these words.
Damn, man.
See, y'all will never get it. Y'all will never get it. Listen, it's agave.
Oh, okay.
Now let me tell you, I eat the guava too, and I've been mispronouncing it the whole time, but I'm able to find it on the shelf. So
it's right there in the sugar. It ain't hard to find. It just seems weird because it's something that we don't know about.
Right, and I've been known to eat some agave guava.
When I first you drank.
Yeah, we know her.
Cam already know what a guava is.
So is it quinoa or quinoa?
Quinoa.
Okay. It's not quinoa. It's quinoa.
All
right, see, I'm learning.
Outlaw Radio, man.
It's my listen to learn hat. Right?
And the crazy part is the People's Network blends like that, because there is, like, we talk about black and blackness and black male. Yeah. Black male isms is what I like to refer to them as. And then you get conversation that goes as deep as the herbs and fruits and really doing the inner thing, so you can have that kind of peace. Then we got to talk about our understanding, because we have a political year, 2020 coming. It's coming. And there's so many important elections that will be decided in this year, from the president of the United States to a lot of incumbent local lawmakers here, or as we call them, common council members, right? So we have to talk about what's going on in terms of the presidential race. We see the Democrats, they had this big fucking, dog and pony show, the first debate. Kamala Harris was given all this credit. Kamala Harris's record as a prosecuting attorney, it speaks for itself. She assisted, she helped, continue mass incarceration, especially on black men. My issue with her is a little bit different. It's just because of, I don't like pandering, right? And I don't like for a political candidate to try and pander my vote based on some shit they think that I like as a black person. So don't tell me you listen to Snoop and expect that to be the reason I voted for you. But the violation is in that you said the wrong years. You graduated from college in 86. Like Death Row and Snoop didn't come to like 92. So it's like stupid. Like now I feel like you think I'm dumb, right? So I got a problem with Kamala, but Kamala's come out with some legislation, some proposals saying she wants to come with this $100 million, billion home ownership program to give black people $25,000, a grant potentially, so people of color can, obtain housing and deal with the kind of disparities that we got with income and
then I would ask, like, with that money, they should say they did get it or whatever. Right. How do we know that they actually using it for that? You know what I mean? Like,
well, it depends.
That's a lot of money, man.
If they give you $25,000 in a grant, I'm sure that they will have a system set up in which they have vendors who are on board to. So it's not like they're gonna give you 25 G's. They know black people was.
Well, I mean, I ain't talking about once it get to us. Like whenever it get to us, I'm talking about that's cool, that's great. But I'm saying, like, I don't trust a lot of politicians. It's only one politician I like. Lena Taylor. Hey, boo, I love you.
Hurricane Lena.
You know what I'm saying?
Friend of the show.
But these politicians, you know what I mean? Like, okay, she doing that, but who's to say, like, if she's the one to get it passed, who's to say she ain't pocketing a couple billion out of it?
Well, it's just, first of all, this is just Kamala Harris. I don't know if this is more pandering. it's cool to say that in the early stages of your campaign.
Right.
So we have Cory Booker on the other side. You know what I mean? I don't know how we just not only light-skinned people run for president, but whatever. I guess it's, it's all about DeBarge and them. But Cory Booker, who has he wants to speak to, he tries to tease reparations and things of that nature, and it's all to pander to the black vote. And I'd like for black people to really be more informed if you choose to partake in this democratic process. Because the reality is a lot of us choose not to. We did a show called Complicated. Go back and listen to the shit. Stop crying. Stop hating.
Real talk.
I know. I don't want to like it. Stop it. Go listen to the show. Because everything in this country in terms of black people are the 4th of July. It's complicated. Why the fuck is the 4th of July complicated?
Lie.
It still ain't free.
We make it complicated.
Right.
We make life hard.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, life is really simple, man. It's supposed to be. It's just this simple. This is what it's all about. Living according to nature, with the right intent. Live with the right intent. That's life. That's simple. I ain't trying to harm nobody. I ain't got no ill intent on nobody. You know what I'm saying?
I really wasn't.
I'm making my way.
I really wasn't prepared for you to make that shit that cool. Like, I almost didn't even. I almost said, hell yeah, man. Yo, we gotta love each other. Like, you made that shit. I tried to put as much static in the air. He said, no, bro. Do the right thing. Everybody out there in the audience says, know what he right, cuz.
That's just that simple.
Boy, you gonna have a t-shirt pretty soon.
Two of them. You know what I'm saying? On the front and the back.
Boy, gonna be a brand.
But I want to ask you this because I think that we have this as black people. Like, I think that's our nature. We do love. We want to forgive. We want to hug. Come on. So, but I think that's also a lot of how we've been taken advantage of.
But we got this, and see, we got this image. We got this self-image where it's like, I got to look like I'm doing the best. I got to be doing better than my brother next to me. I got to look like, you know what I'm saying? So it's all part of the ego. We got to learn how to peel these layers back and just be who we are. You know what I mean? And our true self is peace. We don't want to hurt nobody. We don't want to fight. We don't want to get punched in the mouth either. You dig what I'm saying?
But you can have a group.
Nobody want that crap.
You can have a group of people, and they are the most successful in science. They are the most successful in mathematics. They're the most successful in everything. But if they don't have an army to protect, guess what's going to happen to that people? Right? So at some point or another, a certain portion of us gotta stop with the love and we love everybody and the hugs.
Jason, don't you love everybody?
No, I don't love everybody. You know what I'm saying? And
no shit.
Listen, and listen, no heat, baby.
Have you ever seen the show?
Let's stop pretending. You know what I mean? No, I don't love people that kill me and that threaten my children and my elderly and disrespect. No, I don't love you. Like, let's stop that. And so at some point or another, we're gonna have, just like every successful faction, we'll have to have a group of people that are willing to defend. Protect.
My live
ourselves. We can't let them do it.
And I did this.
My live chat YouTube it's got some poppage. Of course, clearly Clever's in the building from the West Coast. He says, man, this new guy's got the gift of gab. So I guess that's for
Peace, brother
Bull.
Yes, sir. Yes,
he called him the new guy.
Well,
right?
Hey, I can make that a part of my name. I'm gonna write that shit down. The new guy.
Somebody said they seen me sneaking a beer. I'm 42 years old. Can't don't sneak beer. I just didn't want to open it on the screen because it was a Stella Artois, right? So it's fine hops and we don't hide that.
Stay thirsty.
Shout out to the Kidney Vision Network. She said KBN in the house. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
That is on YouTube. We simulcast. We do have a YouTube page. The People's Network.
Yes.
On Facebook, I have a group called the People's News Network.
Yes.
Which is full of pertinent
informative, yes.
Wednesday nights we do the Warrior Report featuring our resident herbalist, Brother Kamar Carter, Brother Bull, right?
He called me a lot of stuff. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get this name thing.
He's still
gonna write this down. I gotta write the new.
I feel like we need a drum roll, like for the next thing.
What y'all want me to be?
I'm writing this shit down for real. The herbalist.
Martin say
he gonna have a whole verse.
Martin asked Darnell Hill.
I'm about to write a
rap.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna write a verse.
Right.
They gonna forget about
a whole mixtape next time with it.
This shit gonna turn into a battle show, right? So
the snob is coming out.
We were talking about the Freedom Challenge tonight, which is we basically want to. I think it's important that we start to redefine what they're trying to tell us and what they're trying to force up on us. And I say this because I'm a little sad. I'm kind of nerdy. I'm a thug nerd. if people don't know. Like I'm,
From bubbling.
right. No. That's not true at all.
You already say right, no, the end.
You got to stop the whole damn show when you say that. Not from bubbling. No. Capital Drive. Okay. But no, I'm sad because Ebony Jet laid off their remaining employees today and closed the doors. And they said that this is probably it. Now, when I researched entrepreneurs a long time ago to figure out what black men in this country made a big difference and changed the game via economics and really just battling for social justice, but doing it in a money-getting way and not doing it in that marching and singing type of way. And John H. Johnson was what I found, who was the proprietor of Ebony Magazine and Jet Magazine. You have to read his autobiography. The problem is it's gone. The building that he built in Chicago, they had to sell. They already stopped doing the digital copies of Jet and Ebony. And I think for any brother who goes to the barbershop now as a little kid, you're suffering by not being able to have a Jet magazine so you can pick up and see the Jet Beauty of the Week. It's such a part of puberty for me.
Culture.
Right. It was that. And it was
Culture.
that vision of black women.
Black beauty.
Woo.
Black excellence.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And not distasteful.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no nudes.
Very
None of
exactly.
that.
Very exactly.
And then they gave a little
Yeah.
bio, told you where she was from, her age, and all that stuff.
So how do we get to the point? And that's what I'm saying when we talk about freedom. That's part of freedom as well, being able to control the narrative and saying,
Absolutely.
and what Jet and Ebony represented was, no, we don't need y'all to tell them about us. We have our own photographers, our own writers, our own editors, our own facility. We'll print it. We'll sell it directly to the people. The man became a multi-millionaire because he supplied a need that was just, it wasn't the whole picture of freedom. It was just one piece.
I totally concur. And I'm just, and I don't know the whole backstory behind it. So, forgive me if I misspeak, somebody knows something that I don't know. But I don't think that they were forward thinking, because now we have a group here right now. It's called the Black News Channel, right? The BCN.
It's supposed to be coming.
We saw that, right? And see, this is the direction that Jet and Ebony should have. Them two, all of them. But, no, they should have took, like, you have to understand when actual magazines were.
I'm there where you going.
The Journal Sentinel was there. I mean, we just in our
all media outlets adapted.
They began to understand
no digital imprint,
right, and they didn't have it. Thank you. So well said. No digital imprint.
Right.
They didn't have a vision, and that's unfortunate. However, the BCN is something I am looking forward to, because we do need to control our own narrative. Tell me.
J.C. Watts.
Is he black?
Yes. J.C. Watts played at Oklahoma. He's
black-minded.
He became a Republican politician, but he's business savvy, right? It is real business savvy. So that's what I'm saying. And it hasn't been picked up yet, that news network. But man, you just hit it right where I was going with Jet and Ebony. Thank you.
Yes.
Because if you look at John H. Johnson and you read his book, you see where when those countries in Africa during the 60s were getting liberated, he was a big part of it. He was there at all of the ceremonies. Oh, England let go of Gambia and Zambia. He was involved, like he became a global ambassador for black people and black empowerment. And he died, and he didn't really have you got to read the book.
Right.
The succession wasn't there.
Yes, sir.
So you get now, and I'm not blaming his daughter, because the game changed. I don't even know when he died what debt he left. So I won't speak on that. I'm just saying it's a crime that Ebony Jet is basically no more. Like that.
That's sad.
Right.
Very, very sad. Very sad, because that was something that, so put it in take a copy and put it in a time capsule so black people in the future know that we had some sense at one point.
Or start a new one. And I'm tripping because this brother's really over here writing, looking down at me like, I'm coming back on my shit.
Yeah, I'm getting my
I
name.
forgot he was a rapper. I totally forgot he was a rapper. I totally forgot, man. World class smart ass, man. Hey,
I'm over here getting my name together, man.
My piece of the movement.
I can't just be.
Right.
Yeah.
Brother Talk set it off with all that smooth shit.
Yeah, man.
The Tenacious Teddy Bear.
Yeah.
And I like
he put his late night music DJ the slow jams DJ voice on.
Hey, believe me though, when he first came, he did the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's about that.
Oh yeah.
Wait till next week.
I said I'm gonna bump my head. I ain't gonna bump my head on the same wall.
Hey, pretty soon, man. The introduction gonna be the reason everybody comes.
Right. I see a mixtape in your future.
Hey man, come on.
It's Outlaw Radio, man. And I want to talk about Governor Evers. Just like not to champion a politician, but somebody who I challenge you on what your campaign promises were. And now you see he's done some vetoing and put $14 million back towards the city of Milwaukee in shared revenue. You have to understand the way the budget and the way the state is funded, right? Like, so shared revenue is money that should be shared, basically. And you can look it up.
Should be.
But Walker and the Republicans, they put a chokehold on that money because for them, it was about building up other parts of the state.
The non-black part.
Right. So thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
So he's put 14 million. He said, no, we got to put that back down there. And it's via the Department of Family and Children's Services. And, but there's also through his budget, he raises the school spending budget for public schools for $65 million. So I hate to give a politician props. You know what I'm saying? But this is why we helped him kick Skippy Walker's ass out of Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you goddamn right. Oh yeah, Skippy. Young Skippy got his ass tossed from Madison.
He's still living well. He got an office downtown. I'm just hoping
you a governor of a state, don't even got a college degree. I was overqualified to be the governor for like 12 years, bro.
Right. I'm just hoping some karma comes to you. That's all. That's all.
And I hope she give you something too.
It will.
Like, because I don't know what karma means.
Yeah, you do.
I know. I just talked to her last night.
You know where she lives.
Karma always.
Get your side piece. No, so look, man, I wanted y'all to tell me about freedom. We talked about that.
Yes.
I actually had about the Black News Channel, Brother Jay hopped on top of that.
Yes, sir.
And we had, because it hasn't been picked up yet. And at the same time, you see Byron Allen, who's a mogul who purchased the Weather Channel, fighting with Comcast Cable just to get how the fuck you don't got the Weather Channel?
You don't want the weather?
Right.
You don't want the weather.
Right. All of a sudden, now.
You don't even want the weather.
Right.
He's black. You don't want the weather?
Right. So there is a movement. There is a movement towards expression because I've seen, and rarely do I get this brother any props, Tyler Perry, his speech about, look, you're gonna face these kinds of obstacles. Are you ready? Is this what you want? Don't accept no for an answer. Now I know a lot of ways around that. I just thought the attitude when you got Byron Allen and you got the Black News Channel and you got podcasts popping up everywhere and Black expression all over YouTube. I feel like that's a movement towards, to me, that's a freedom challenge moment. Like rewriting our narrative.
Yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now you can tear me up.
No, I ain't gonna tear you up. I just
Norm, you like what you said was some bullshit.
No.
You gonna wait until I say something else?
He's not my favorite example when you talk about.
Right? No doubt.
So, but as a black man, he certainly made his way, and so there's something.
You talking about Mandela?
No, I'm talking about your boy in the dress with the fake boobs and the.
Oh, Tyler,
yeah,
TP,
him,
young
her,
TP,
him,
Tony Peace. Yeah.
So I'm I don't advocate with the destroying black male masculinity and getting in a dress and doing that whole thing.
All right.
But again, like I said, he's successful, so I respect that.
No doubt. And we don't hate on this show.
Well,
even if we don't like you, we don't hate on you. We just don't like you.
Yeah.
It is.
We'll love you over there.
Right. You walk away from me. I just love you from behind.
Hey, I just thought about something right about the challenge, freedom challenge.
Yes.
Okay.
These challenges that we doing, they, like I say, they stupid challenges. Like they don't do shit. Like none of them do nothing for us. You know what I mean?
Cold water challenge.
People doing it for likes, and then you ain't even getting that many likes for doing this dumb shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like you say, I'm always coming from a holistic point of view, a holistic stance.
No doubt.
How about we do challenges that benefit us in some type of way? Challenges that gives us a good look as black people. You know what I'm saying? Like when brothers dress up. Wash show clean up well challenge.
Pull
You
your
know what I mean?
pants-
Got
pull
that
your
slick
pants
ass
up
suit on,
challenge.
that
Yeah,
fresh
yeah,
suit.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I mean, something that empowers us. You know what I'm saying? And a challenge that can empower us financially, like we was talking about the credit, fixing your credit, making that a challenge. You know what I mean? Health challenges, detox, go a week. You know what I mean? Or some kind of detox.
Detox challenge.
Go a month with no meat. Go a month with no beef and chicken. Or then just do fish or something more. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Like
that's
different
all. That's
challenges.
what's up.
We should do challenges, you know what I'm saying, that can help us. Challenges, okay, where we address these toxic behaviors that we have within ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Challenge yourself. You ain't even got to tell nobody you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do these type of challenges, it's only going to make your self-love raise. I mean, your self is going to go through the roof.
Self-love is very important, and I want people to understand that self-love, nothing that anybody could recommend to you will ever work if you don't have self-love. You have to understand that. So I could sit here and theorize and come up with all kinds of hypotheses and write lessons and manuals, and you can watch videos and read books. But if you don't have self-love, none of it's going to matter, because if you don't love yourself, what's the use anyways? Right. So you have to get a really deep-rooted understanding and love for self. It's called self-esteem, right?
All right.
So somebody kicked you in your ass one time. Oh, well. One time you failed, okay? One time you was embarrassed. God forbid, one time you were vulnerable.
Just once.
Right? And this is the one thing about black men, you know, if there's anything about hypermasculinity, is the fact that you can never, ever be vulnerable. You know? Anybody can be vulnerable. You know, so you gotta really be emotionally mature as well. So before you start doing all this self-help shit and trying to drink my brother's detox, which I know is good, I'm just saying, invest in the mental part of it. Invest in the metaphysical part of it, right? Like really start thinking about yourself from within. With that said, I want to talk about my brother's. You brought some other supplements tonight.
Yeah, this is a new mix.
Your liver cleanse fibroid buster. So this is more for the sisters. So I'm gonna pass that right down the line, past the Dutchie.
Yes, sir.
Now elaborate on that for us.
All right. It's from Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements. Find it on Facebook. Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements. But it's a liver cleanse. That was my original reason for making the mix, right? Now I like to find mixes where it works for more than one thing. You know what I mean? You can knock two birds out with one stone. Like I got a vitality mix. For vitality, it helps men and women sexually, and it also helps you manage your blood pressure.
That's in that?
No, not this.
Oh, okay.
That's
I want you to bring that one.
Yeah, I'll bring that one too. It helps men and women both. You know what I'm saying? It helps men get it up. It helps with the energy, and it helps women to not achieve the orgasm, but experience a better orgasm.
Ooh wee!
You know what I'm saying? Because it's good for the
you
blood.
You stuff
flow.
your own.
Yeah.
You do the, okay.
Yep, I make capsules myself.
That boy.
And this here, you know what I mean? Like I say, it's a liver cleanse and fibroid buster.
Fibroids. I'm sorry.
The cysts.
But I don't think sisters or people know that black women are disproportionately affected by fibroids, and that's a serious problem with black. I'm sorry.
Exactly, and a lot of it comes from the different stuff that they're doing. You know what I mean? The deodorant they use. You know what I'm saying? It gets that deodorant is toxic. It gets into the lymph nodes.
I told you about that.
And you know, the perms. You know what I'm saying? When you put the perms in the hair, it goes through the scalp and it gets in, and you know what I mean? And the fibroids, the food, the water. You know what I'm saying? The air, all this toxic shit can do it. You know
so what's the number again? What's the number again?
414-949-2122.
So let me ask you this.
I know you can't see the number. Let me get the detox to it. Like
if you're interested, you may want to know which herbs did I use.
What herbs did you use, bro?
Okay, I got milk thistle seed in there.
You need this back? Tarila?
You can leave it up there. No, I don't need it.
Okay.
I got milk thistle seed in there. I got yellow dock root. I got dandelion root, and I got burdock root in there. And also, if you have fibroids, what I would recommend, if you contact me, I can help you get it too. But I would recommend you get some nettle leaf. I want you to get raspberry leaf. and I want you to get red clover and mix those and make a tea out of it. So get maybe an ounce of each and make a tea out of that.
And sweeten it with a guave.
Guave nectar.
Yeah, if you want to sweeten it, you sweeten it with agave.
Or natural honey.
Yeah, natural honey.
Right.
Some people choose that, but I prefer agave because it's plant based.
Okay. Let me ask y'all a quick question.
So I mean, what? I'm really asking. What would honey be considered?
Well, honey comes from a bee.
Right.
Bees are actually like alive, and a lot of people. I mean, and see, it's a toss up, right? Really, I think this may be perspective also.
Honey's a
some
superfood,
people,
right?
Some people, no.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it has some benefits to it, but that's one of the things where it don't take a lot to get too much. Because see, you can consume a lot of honey and your sugar don't go through the roof.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You can consume a lot of agave and your sugar go through the roof. But the difference is the sugar that's in the agave, your body can recognize and it can digest better. You know what I'm saying?
So before just while we're on the subject, before we leave it, I want you to tell me about sea moss.
Okay, sea moss, it has 92 out of the 102 minerals that your body's made out of. So that means it's high in all the minerals. It's high in every mineral you need. It's good for everything. Good for your hair, your skin.
There's two kinds though, right?
No, it's just one.
Just
but
one.
I have them in the mix. A lot of people like to mix sea moss and bladderwrack together. That may be what you're talking about.
Okay.
But actually, there is two kinds of sea moss. They have a purple sea moss.
Yes.
But I tell y'all what, though,
yes,
if you really want to indulge in this conversation, you got to tune in on Wednesday.
He reeling it back in.
Right.
That's all right, though.
We done took off.
That's all right, though. That's what's up. That's what's
Talking
up.
about drinking thug thistle seeds and all kinds of stuff. You walk around here with bandanas on and shit. No, it's Outlaw Radio. Shout out to my brothers. The passion is there. The passion is there. This gives you an incentive to tune in Wednesday nights. This is why I do the
We go in on Wednesday. We
do it. I just want to make sure, fellas, we all have problems with our girls. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get her some of this. That's that shit. So we'll put not that one. No. That's for the five boys.
That's for the five boys in the middle.
Oh, I know which one.
I thought you were talking about the vitality mix.
No.
Yeah,
that's coming Wednesday. We're gonna have that Wednesday.
A lot of brothers.
Do y'all even give a shit? I didn't want to do a whole hip hop snob moment, and we've done an hour. I don't like to, I know y'all attention span ain't that long. Plus, I know y'all getting dressed to go out or whatever. So I won't keep you all night. But I seen this kind of thing about, Lil Nas X and the gay thing, and like they really try to make this a big issue, and I'm just looking at it like this because I'm a hip hop cat, and I know you from my generation, so I don't know how deep you was at. I
was in it.
I'm the hip hop snob, right? You was a rapper. What am I talking about? So, right, that was dumb, right? But no, so I'm saying like when I look, but it's always been gay people in hip hop. There's always been gay people in disco. There was gay people in R&B. All that shit, it's always been there. If this little young brother's if that's how he wants to represent, I still think he has a great story. Just to come from paying $30 for a beat off YouTube and then now you performing at everything and getting all this, that's fine. But I don't want to be too paranoid and say, oh, they're trying to perpetuate this agenda on us and that. No, I think that now that you know he's gay, you make one of two decisions. Either I listen to his shit or I don't. Not complicated at all. As a hip hop fan, do I listen to it? He's gay. No, I ain't messing with that, which a lot of hip hop fans will do. Then you got some who say it don't matter. That's entirely up to you. I don't think it's a hidden, hatched agenda, because he's gay. I think, and he said you should have knew, and we probably should have. We was just listening to the song. We wasn't paying attention to when he went. Mm-hmm. Right? So
he did that?
No, I'm just throwing that. So I
didn't see the video enough.
Right, okay. So I mean, I don't know what y'all think about that, like, because there's always a question of what is the LGBTQRMNOP doing to us this right? Because they're always doing some shit to us every week.
Yeah. So
how did y'all feel about that?
Well, for me, I'm not a country and western type dude, so I never was going to listen to your music. Whether or not I was going to support you because you entered into an arena that was disproportionate, it was unfair. When it was all good until they seen it came from a black rapper and then they wanted to kick you off. So
right.
I would have.
And we was riding with you.
Right. So I would have supported you. However, the union you've aligned yourself with is far superior, and you go ahead. You got enough support. You good. I'm out.
Wrangler on your booty. What you think, bro?
are solely those of the motherfucker that said it.
No, who to be mad at, baby? What are you talking about talk now?
Again, you know I always got some kind of crazy shit, right?
Okay.
Say like a completely off the wall, you know what I mean, perspective. Personally, I don't give a fuck about somebody's personal life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I like the song, I like the song. That's it. You know what I mean? So what? That's like again, that's their path. It's his path. He got to walk. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing I'm fit to go find. I'm not. Now I hear that he's gay. I'm not finna go find the music. Let me see. We hear what he talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ain't none of that, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. He do what he do. You know what I mean? I wasn't finna. I don't listen to country music any damn way. And I don't think too many of our people listen to country music enough where we should really care.
Even though it's our music.
Yeah,
like
originally,
we started this shit. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
But we ain't doing it now.
No doubt. No doubt.
No, they jacked it. We let them have it. Go ahead.
You know what? I just wanted to, we don't give a shit about that. That's like me bringing up some Kardashian shit. I just did that. No, it's NBA free agency time. You see 150, 170 million thrown around. And I'm looking at the Bucks, and you let Brogdon go, and then you waive Hill, and you talking about you want to keep Giannis, And that now the NBA, LeBron them playing rich man games. I hope these brothers are saving some of this money they getting, because they get $175 million contracts. It's boom. 50 million ain't even a lot. Oh, you only got 50 million.
Right.
What the fuck? Right. So, hey, I hate NBA free agency season because it tells me all the time you played the wrong goddamn sport. So, what y'all think about Kawhi juking the Lakers? But the Lakers still got a big two. The Lakers are still going to be good. But what the Clippers have and Golden State is disarmed because even Boogie went to join the Lakers.
He did.
Right. So,
yeah. He was a little. Listen, they got a lane cloggage going on right there. They got a bunch of people that play in the lane. Other than Green, they don't have. I mean, they got a lot of big.
LeBron.
Man, I think
AD's a big.
I think Los Angeles is really trying to bust some power moves where they finna make some money out there.
I think
they got these big names out there on both teams, and I think they want to try to make somewhat of a rivalry between the teams.
Well, hats off.
You know how Chicago got the Cubs and the White Sox. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's finna happen in LA. The same type of thing.
Yeah.
Hats off to Kawhi, because instead of going to play with LeBron and do that, he said, "Fuck you, let's go battle over the motherfucking city." And it's gonna be the Lakers versus the Clippers.
Right.
And right now the Clippers is gonna bust your ass.
And hats off to LeBron for saying, "Fuck Canada," and leaving the Raptors. Y'all a paper champ.
You mean Kawhi?
Kawhi. Y'all a paper champ. Y'all beat up the Warriors. They was hurt. You lucky Durant. Y'all wouldn't have won. You're paper champ. I don't respect you. And you know what? I'm glad you're going from the East. So the Bucks ain't got to deal with that.
Well, hey, I'm like this, man. We got professional players, right?
Right.
If you get in the game, you're supposed to hit that shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what? It don't matter who all was hurt.
You got it going out the East.
No,
so your boy.
But you can't replace Draymond
Giannis
Green.
Can't come back with a 5-foot jumper. It don't matter.
But you can't replace Kevin Durant. He
you
get hurt.
You can't.
That's a blow to you.
But I mean,
that's the dude who gonna
they was winning with the same team beforehand.
They won.
Yeah, but it wasn't different. It wasn't these teams that they was playing either.
Playing against.
They got
better. They got better.
The West is a beast. Yeah.
Wait, because he's supposed to be the best that ever played the game. He's supposed to be able to just take 5 cats with him and just drag them through the playoffs because he's LeBron,
They smashed the Heat 1 or 2 of them years.
Note to self: in order to get Negroes excited, bring up basketball.
This does happen.
Check this out, man. Much love to y'all. Thank y'all for supporting the show.
That's it.
Yeah, man. You got something you want to drop?
I do.
Okay, well, go ahead, brother.
Because we talked about, we had quite a few shows about reparations.
Well, we did.
We spent a lot of time on reparations and how it should be distributed right. And I had a problem with some of the terminology because I felt like it was purposely put there to eliminate a certain population of blacks to get the reparations.
Right.
And we talked long and hard about some of the people, the Africans that were here, prior, right, that weren't actually Africans that still became slaves. Now, I see that you had a little bit of more of an opportunity to come encounter with some of these understandings, right, by some of the posts.
You know the post you put up.
And the post you put up as well, about the 98% being all right. So I want to see how, since the last time we talked about that, how your understanding has changed.
Can I say something right quick?
Please do, yes, sir.
Okay, you got the ones they said came on the ship deserve reparations, but then you also have a lot of blacks that was here already, right?
Which was my point, yes, sir.
Now check this out. The blacks that was here are owed money too.
Hey.
So we need to figure out how to get all these black people some money.
Right. So when they started talking about you have to be African descendants, right? That was purposely put in there to exclude a group of people that was already here, blacks and slaves. And when we brought up the word Negroes, when you look at the records that were kept by white people, they separated. When they said Africans, they said Africans. When they talked about another group of people, they didn't call them Africans, they called them Negroes. So when we talk about that, how has, or if it has at all, your understanding changed a little bit from the last conversation we had as to who should and would get these reparations.
I'm gonna say this one more time. I'm gonna say this one more time, right? Because I thought I was clear.
You was, but I thought we had some new information. I'm sorry.
Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I wasn't. Because first of all, I understand Pangea.
Oh.
I understand a landmass that broke off into continents. Therefore, you find fossils over here where geographically you say, how did this get here?
Amen.
I understand that.
Yes, sir.
I understand the land bridge.
Yes, sir.
I understand
the Egyptian artifacts down in South
America.
America.
Talk about it.
Even here in the Grand Canyon.
I understand a very large parcel of land, which is North America, that sat for years. And if you are dumb enough to think that no people lived here, that there were no indigenous people, you got to be a fool.
Right.
Sooner or later, somebody sailed up on some coast and said, we staying here. This is the shit, right? So it doesn't surprise me that there's a lot of embedded African DNA within Native Americans, which we would say were Indians, right? Because even in my family, there's that connection way down the line. My grandmother looked like she walked off a reservation. But I do believe if you were enslaved, then that means you worked during antebellum slavery, right? You were on the turf in America, right? You can trace your lineage, be it Native American or African, back to America. So my thing was, if you can prove that your lineage is from anything affected by antebellum slavery in this country, you should deserve reparations. I said we can rule out Jamaicans, people who don't want to identify as us. Jamaicans. Oh, I'm from the Caribbean. I'm Dominican. I'm Puerto Rican. I ain't have. Okay, that's fine. You
African American.
That's where you from. This is for Americans.
Right.
This is our bread.
Y'all better not get in this line.
Right.
No, but wait, but what?
No, because that's what they've done to us. Every other race said, like even Native Americans. Because if we're part of them, then they owe us retroactive money because they have been reparated. I guess I can say. So if you say, no, bro, I've been in your tribe this whole time, I ain't there. They get checks monthly. Right? So does it change how I believe reparations should be structured? No, because I still think it's for black people who are from America. If you were a slave, if maybe you came before the white people got here, but eventually your ass ended up working with my great-great-grandfather. You deserve it.
Right.
So we don't have to complicate that. And I never doubted the fact that there was, of course, Africans, Vikings, everybody found this shit.
Right.
You know, white people just said, no, we gonna set up shop. It's like everybody done sold a little dope over here, but you got the apartment building on the corner.
That's it. They just decided to settle.
No, it doesn't. And it was a beautiful article. And that's why I followed up with the one that I put in the People's News Network.
You did.
Like
I was surprised.
Well, it's not something that I'm surprised by.
Actually.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd be real good from now on, Mr. Kate.
Got a job application, son?
We can get off now. But Jason, proud of you.
I was very proud of you. I was very proud of you.
So no, to answer your question in a gentlemanly fashion,
yes, sir.
It didn't change who I think should get reparations, but it is a beautiful understanding to know that Africans probably done been a little bit somewhere where laying it down. You know what they say, 3 black dudes show up, 6 chicks is pregnant.
Then you consider
his baby daddies, Africans will do that.
And then you consider how the earth was populated by black people.
Right.
We're the original man.
So first of all, when you start talking reparations, we're going to first have to go back because when the people used to tell you they had good hair because they had Indian in their family, that was some real shit.
Yeah.
Right? So first thing we're going to have to do is go back and find because
you been south?
No, because what they did was they reclassified a lot of us. If you were a dark-skinned Indian, they just called you a Negro, African. You know what I'm saying? So
you're like, wait a minute, I'm Cherokee. They're like, get your ass in that.
So you have some Cherokees that have received reparation. You have some different that have received, but the dark-skinned population of them that were classified as Negroes or Negro American, right? And after that, even African to just begin to clump you. So what we're going to talk about when we talk about reparations is just going back and digging and pulling back some layers to find out who the fuck we actually are, because that's why they was giving us all these names. That's why they gave us African American to associate us with Africa and not associate with the land that is ours.
What are they going to call us, American Americans?
Well, they called us colored. But they call us Negro.
Somebody called me a coon. They call us everything.
I tell you what, but even a word with them calling you black didn't start till the 1900s, right?
It's in there. Right. It's a transitional.
Right. So when they took over the word white, even though they're not white, they're pink and red, and they took white based on the meaning of white. Have you ever seen a white person get angry?
Well,
have you ever seen them get excited? I'll tell you what. Have you ever seen a white person be born? What color are?
No, I've never actually seen.
What color are? What color are?
I've seen one get scared and they get pale.
I used to work for an organization called Wisconsin's Right to Life. I was 16 years old. We still have to watch abortions and shit. These motherfuckers is pink.
Damn.
Fuck what you're talking about.
The fact that you did that at 16 years old.
How about this? Some of them is pink and got tails.
Goodness, that was traumatizing.
He said my job was to watch abortion.
I had to watch abortion.
We're gonna put your picture right here on the goddamn wall. And it's gonna be
you got issues,
right?
From that shit.
Yes, it's pink devils everywhere. I see pink devils. They I see them in Congress and the Senate. I see them in the White House. It's a lot of
you need to detox
this whole thing, right? Nature's return, man.
Cleanse your mind. Cleanse your mind.
God damn, they done oppressed this brother. I got a right to be hostile. My people been persecuted.
Hey.
I'm already on the side of that, man. You got something else on your thing? Take him to jail. I don't want to, I don't want to cut nobody out.
One more thing.
Okay.
This billboard sign that they got up that says to black fellow Americans, if the Democrats worked half as hard for you as they do for the DACA and the illegals, there would be no ghettos. So what you feel about white people trying to play two ends against the middle, trying to bid the blacks against the browns at this point? Because that's all that is.
Well, they don't want us to get together.
I think it's election time and rhetoric is common.
Yeah.
And I think it's time for billboards like that to put it in your subconscious, because if you drive past it 3 times on your way to work and back home, it becomes something in your head. So when you go to vote, you're that's the whole purpose of having commercials and printed ads. And that's why I say be an informed voter. Don't be a fucking slave. Let me tell you something. If you believe a majority of the shit you see on TV, you're an idiot. Because there's no way it could be real. You look at movies, you look at TV shows, you listen to rap songs, that is all fantasy. You play a video, it's all fantasy.
Hello, somebody.
So you got to believe that when it comes to the information that each side, whether Democrat or Republican, would give us anyways. They're both spin masters and they both full of shit. So as a black person, you got to be what I would like to call a Republican. Or, like I like to define myself as a democratic socialist, but that's a different show. I'm saying some shit I'm conservative about, some shit I'm liberal about, right? Having the right to own a pistol because I have no felonies, I'm very conservative about it. I ain't fucking with you on it. Legalizing weed, so if I get pulled over blowing a fatty, I don't go to jail. Or if I'm sitting in front of my house, not driving, but if I'm sitting in front of my house and you pull up like, that smells good, I'm like, you want to hit it? It's legal. I'm real liberal about that, right? So I'm not gonna go with the Bible Belt versus Sodom and Gomorrah. Like it ain't. I don't stretch it out to those extremes. You always say this thing about one thing being here and one thing being there, but then the truth is somewhere in the middle.
The truth is
so when I see that sign, I say it's probably some fact to that, but it's probably some bullshit to it too, because we know that liberals and fucking Democrats don't work 24/7 for us anyway.
They don't work full war second for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
4 or 4
And-
to 7.
And not just DACA, not just the DACA, but if they worked harder on anything,
Right.
it wouldn't be no ghetto.
But you see how but then ignore how ghettos came to be.
Right.
Ghettos didn't just happen. You know what I'm saying? That
Mhm.
shit was planned out. But again, you see them playing two ends against the middle. And so I just want to call that shit out when they try to play the black against the brown. Listen, white people, stop it. You pink motherfuckers, you stop that shit.
Know who to be mad at.
Yes.
If you got a contract for me, I like you guys. Go ahead, brother Bull. What you think about that? Oh, you want to buy some herbs? You cool with me, white boy?
Right, right.
That's the Jordan
Let's
shit.
get
Republicans
clean.
buy
Let's get clean.
shoes too.
I want to heal everybody. I want everybody to heal.
That's what's up. That's what's up. No. You got something, man? How you feel about that? I don't want to shut nobody down.
No.
Such a great time.
Hey, listen, thank you. That's a new wrinkle that you've added to the plate.
Don't touch me. You tell you like
I'm
white
good,
boys say,
but-
fuck off. White people say fuck off with an A.
Fuck Jews. They make up shit. Dickweed.
You fucking cunt.
Right. I'm good, man, but I just want to say one thing about that, man. Like, I think it's sad how they don't mind treating human being kids like that. You know what I'm saying? But then look how they do somebody like who got a bunch of dogs in a bad environment.
Michael Vick.
You know what I mean?
Michael Vick.
Right.
And see, yeah, Michael Vick. And Michael Vick wasn't even there.
Well, they
You dig what I'm saying?
But that shows you where we are.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
There's some bullshit.
Like, man,
Some
I'm looking at the
charges on
news,
kangaroo
man, and they
court.
showing these kids on the news with aluminum foil for fucking blankets. Or it looked like aluminum foil. What the fuck is that, man? You know
You
what
got
I
a
mean?
concentration
Yeah,
camp
with their
right
parents.
now.
Then they was talking about sending them some motherfucking where else, farther away from their. What the fuck, man? Who you people think y'all is?
White.
You dig what I'm
We
saying?
talked about
Who
karma.
the fuck do y'all think y'all is? Like, you could just take the motherfucking kids and do what the fuck you want to do. That's kidnap.
It's all kinds of shit.
They'll name it something else. White
Name
people
a
do that.
crime. The irony of it is the people who wrote the laws are guilty of violating every last one.
Yeah,
of them.
and
The
yeah,
worst.
yeah.
Outlaw Radio, man. Freedom Challenge. Get free, man. Be aware. Don't be no square.
I'm gonna post 2 of them this week.
Make sure you support the People's Network. We're
Yes.
coming on, man. A lot of big things are about to happen for us. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to even make promises.
Watch.
You'll see.
Mhm.
You'll see how this thing kind of metamorphosizes into what I like for it to be.
Yes, sir.
But like I say, until then, man, in the meantime and in between time, it's the world-class smartass, the militant with a microphone, man, the mouthpiece of the movement,
Hey.
a.k.a. the Negro Whisperer, with my
Look.
brother Talk to Teach, Listen to Learn, and my
Yeah.
brother Bull.
Hey.
We're going to shut it down, man.
Peace, love, and light, family.
Like I always tell y'all, go out and be safe. Keep your head on a swivel, especially when you're running through them yellow lights. You got your music up. You think you're looking to watch. Put your little tuck your jury. Don't get robbed. Be careful. I hope you get everything you want, but I hope you want everything you get. I will see y'all Wednesday night.
Peace.
Great show, fellas.
We're still live on Facebook.
Well, Facebook.